Hi, it's Nerdy, and it's heading into winter here in Australia, so I decided to make myself a dinosaur hoodie. If you'd like to see how, keep watching. The items you need are a cheap hoodie in the colour of your choice. I've chosen black, and this one cost me $12. Some contrasting fabric. I've chosen polar fleece, but tracksuiting material would also be suitable. In addition, you'll also need some pins, a tape measure, thread, scissors, and I've chosen to purchase a black drawstring cord to replace the white one. To start with, I've folded the hoodie in half so that I can cut down the back seam. This is where I'm going to insert the dinosaur spikes. The hooded part has a lining on this hoodie, so I'm going to be very careful to only separate the back seam here. At the bottom there's a band which I don't want to cut through. Now that I've cut the hoodie in half, I'm going to measure along the opening so that I know how long to make the row of spikes. This is approximately 43 inches, or in centimeters, about 110. The next step is making the spikes. I've decided to make my spikes about 10 centimeters tall, or 4 inches, and I've decided to make pointy ones. You could choose to make them shorter or rounded, it's up to you. I folded over just over 10 centimeters and I'm going to cut along the line. I'm making my spikes about 10 centimeters wide. If you have tailor's chalk, you could use this, but I'm using a ballpoint pen. In the end, this will be on the inside, so it doesn't really matter. You could use a ruler if you'd like to be more accurate, but I don't mind freeform. Now it's time to get out the sewing machine and sew along the line. Since this is a plush fabric, remember to go slow. Now that the spikes are sewn, I'm going to trim off the excess fabric and turn them inside out. How cute do these spikes look? I've added a row of top stitching to add some definition. If you're using a stiffer fabric, you may also choose to stuff the spikes at this stage. Now I'm going to pin the row of spikes into the back seam. I had to open up some of the hoodie lining so that I could pin around the inside. Now that the spikes are all pinned, I'm going to sew them in. Now that the spikes are sewn in, I'm going to trim off the excess fabric and run a row of zigzag stitch to reinforce the seam. I think the hoodie's looking really cute so far, and you could stop at this stage. If this was a child's hoodie, I might add a tail at the bottom, but instead I'm going to add a contrasting pouch. Taking the fabric that I used before, I'm drawing an arc partway up the hoodie. Using the existing pocket as a guide, I'm going to mark a pocket shape into this arc. Using a scrap of fabric, I created the lip of the pocket. I'm going to trim the excess fabric. This is what it looks like on the outside. Next, I'm going to top stitch the pocket to the hoodie around these seams. Top stitching can be difficult, and it's important when I sew on the second pocket to make sure that this seam is matching. I've decided to leave the existing pocket underneath because it's attached quite well and I don't want to remove it. I don't mind having the two pockets. Now that the pockets are sewn on, there's only one other thing I want to do, and that's replace this white cord with a black cord. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed my video. If so, it'd be great to get a thumbs up. Written instructions can be found on my blog. I'll put a link in the description. If you decide to make a dino hoodie of your own, I'd love to see photos. You can either comment on my blog or send me a photo on Twitter. See you next time.